On this wall, we have three personas displayed. We have Louis or Louis, who's a new Habanero, someone coming in from Habanero, just starting out their journey with us. We have Lisa, who's a more experienced Habanero person, and then we have Riley, who's a performance manager. So Riley is someone who's helping coach someone like Louis or Lisa through their career. These are called empathy maps, and it's just a tool that we use to take some of this the data from our primary investigations and dive deeply into what are people hearing, what are they thinking, what are they seeing, what are they saying, what are they doing, what are they feeling, and it's our way of getting really super clear about what it's like to walk a mile in their shoes, what it's like to be these people. One of the interesting things about it is when we're doing this, the exercise of this, you start to realize where the gaps are in terms of the information you have. So we start to realize that where we had a new Habanero, the data for the experience rather for a new Habanero who's early in their career is different from a new Habanero who's more experienced in their career. So we developed a separate persona for someone who's coming in to Habanero who is later in their career and more experienced. We also actually realized that where we captured the performance management experience very well, it was a different experience for someone who was a regular Habanero employee who wanted to be a performance manager. So this is our one of the interesting things we get out of this is you start to get an appreciation for the right sense of altitude to the problem. So what I mean by that is how much do we step back and look at a bigger problem or zoom in and look at a smaller problem?
Helps us sort of prepare for a sort of a system-wide way of thinking. For example, if we hadn't sort of gone a little bit deeper into each of these profiles, you could imagine that we could have easily gone to where there were some flags or issues or known opportunities for change too quickly. And so for us to explore this in more depth really gives us a better perspective on where the hidden gems are and where the real opportunities are to make improvements to the overall process.
Yeah, I think that's a super important observation. We're still in the understanding the context mode here, and we're applying the discipline of design thinking not to start jumping in and start creating solutions all over the place when we see things that aren't quite working. So there's a bit of discipline involved at this point to really apply yourself to really understanding the context. So what we're starting to discover here is that understanding what it was like for these people and thinking back to how we were with this linear journey map here, we're starting to realize that this way of articulating and mapping out and visually mapping out what the experience is like for people isn't really the most satisfying way to do it, because careers rather, they're all over the place.
Super organic.
Super organic. They don't take this A to B sort of path. And so
especially in our organization.
Especially in our organization, for sure, right. We have career changes, and we don't have a corporate ladder that people are systematically moving up. So it is quite organic in our organization. And so we wanted to find a better way to sort of compile the information, both from a clarity of it, but also from a visual point of view. And I think that's a really key point here, is that if you can articulate the context in a very clear visual way, that's your best chance to start to identify the cause and effect relationships that might be obscured in other contexts or without seeing in that visual way. We refer to as kind of making the invisible visible in the organization, which I'm sure is a phrase we stole from someone. But it's our way of finding the needles in the haystack in the organization. So we've identified these personas. We've done this deep dive into really understand, with the empathetic lens, what their world is like. So we wanted to take that and put it in a form that we could do something more constructive with.